Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adored Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in 18th chapter, that's the last chapter, known as Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Presently, the topic we are presenting before you, 4 classes of human society and the duties that relate to those 4 classes. And the 4 classes are recognized in India as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. But I'm taking your mind away from ordinary interpretation of those classes. I'm providing you with glasses. Everyone has all the 4. You have Brahmana as potential in you that enables, that will lead you to enlightenment. You have Kshatriya potential in you that will allow you to sublimate the negative qualities into positive. You have Vaishya potentiality in you that will allow you to be so well integrated in your personality that your mind and senses, which are your cattle, they will pick up real grass. You will pick up divine nourishment. And Shudra aspect that enables your heart to serve everybody. The term serving to the masses has become very low in their mind, but it is very high in spiritual, real spiritual sadhana. How much can you serve? To serve, you require motherly heart and good flexibility in your spine. How much can you bend? So when you hear of these different qualities, don't say to your mind, I'm not a Brahmana, so don't worry about those qualities. All the qualities of all the 4 have to be understood and brought into your life. So keeping with that, I will just reiterate what I have already told our Brahmanas' qualities. Shamo, Damah, Tapah, Shaucham, Kshanti, Rajavame, Vacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Swabhavajam. Shama, serenity of mind. Love to be peaceful. Live to waft the fragrance of peace. Enjoy harmony. If you have harmony, you will do that also. Shama. That's the most profound mantra of nourishing your entire nervous system and enhancing the quality of your life. Shama. It's one of the gatekeepers of liberation. Dhamma. allowing your senses to obey your understanding, your insight. Your mind and senses act like monkeys. Do not fall for them. If you fall for them, you are going into monkey business. That's where the English word market has come. Market. Market is a Sanskrit word for monkey. So Dhamma, that how strong you are in a spiritual way will depend upon how much can you control. Anger is spilling out through your tongue. How much can you swallow it and extinguish it? Tapa, austerity. For any project, you require certain type of endurance, certain patience. Without austerity, you cannot gain success anywhere, in no field. But austerity can be of three types, tamasic. Even the thieves have to do a lot of austerity. I don't have to go into that project. Rajasic austerity, you can do a lot of endurance and suffering and fight for shallow development. And sattvic, which has profound meaning, and all this I have already discussed, so I'm moving fast. Shaucham, purity of physical body by following the rules of health, keeping your body full of vitality by hatha yoga exercises, asanas, pranayams, and mental purity. Mental purity, allowing your mind not to be gripped by anger, hate, greed, pride, perverted desires. Allow your mind to be nirmal. If you do that, you are normal. Many English words have come from the same source. Kshanti, always develop a forgiving nature. You have forgiven someone, but you go on remembering that someone has been forgiven on a certain date, and I am the one who have forgiven. If you do that, that's not real virtue. Act of forgiveness should be considered like a flower came into your heart and you offered it to God. That type of sense of joy that you are able to, instead of dealing with people in a nasty way, you deal with people in a joyous way, positive way. End up with peace, harmony. Arjavam, Arjavam means developing straightforwardness. That's Sanskrit English literate translation. But straightforward, of course, I am already myself becoming straightforward. It is thought, word, and deed. Your thought goes this way, words go that way, actions are not in harmony with that. So no matter how straight you are in your looks, in the mystical world you are described as crooked. You are manthara, kubja, three bends with a big hump on the back. Jnanam Vijnanam, developing understanding of what is the absolute reality. And that understanding goes in two stages. Intellect to grasp it, but that itself requires a great guidance. Otherwise, world provides so many things for your intellect to go after. Go after that understanding. What's the essence of the Upanishads? What do they say? Who am I? What the nature of the world is? What's the goal of life? And what's the method? Reading all that comes into intellect grasp first. And as it goes on coming to the grasp of your intellect, you go on assimilating it. If it comes to the intellect level, it's just like the cows take so much food. But what do? They chew the cud. Grasped by the intellect. They chew the cud. Assimilate it. Shravan Manan. Listen, and just don't let what you have listened come through the one ear and go through the other. Hold it in your pouch. Joking. And whenever you are in a position to enjoy what you have heard, sit relaxed, bring to your memory what you have heard, work upon it, and extract juice out of it. What you have heard are beautiful grapes, but they have to be crushed by your teeth. So you end up with Vijnanam, realization of the self. All these qualities, if you are developing, the Brahmana within you is blossoming. The Brahmana is your head. If your other limbs of the body have not been integrated, simply head has been given big expansion. All this I'm giving allegorically so that easy to understand. You have not really succeeded. The fact is, whatever qualities you may think you have attained, they will be fake qualities unless you are integrated in your personality. Kshatriya aspect deals with facing life and its challenges. Life is always a process of luchando, battle. In that life's battle, how to handle that battle with inner strength. And this is the topic that I'm now handling for you. Other topics I have already discussed before. This is 43rd verse of chapter 18. Shauryam tejo dhritir dakshyam yuddhe chapya palayanam danam ishwara bhavascha kshatram karma swajavajam. These are the qualities that one must develop, allowing the Kshatriya potential within you to become dynamic. The first quality, Shauryam. Shauryam means heroism. When any challenge comes, do not develop the habit of being overcome by gloom, sadness. Any challenging situation comes, your mind has a choice. You suddenly, if you are not working with good karmas and good intent in a positive way, then you easily sit back on your chair or on your bed or whatever, put your hand on your head, and say, my life has been miserable. Mother is to be blame, father is to be blamed. Those brothers and sisters were no good either. Instead of doing that, you turn your attention to your, as if you were a lion-like strength. Perk up your ears, become gambhir, profound, peaceful. I have God within me, and I will face them. And remember, I gave you in a humorous way, but in a profound way, 3 root letters, dat, hut, and fat. When adversities come, they are like a wind coming to shake you up. Dat means be firm, don't be shaken, God within you. You are not the one who is stopping thee. God has created the whole world. With that strength of faith, stay firm, not sinking in dejection, but waiting for a dynamic goal to be attained, waiting to shine brighter with positivity, not waiting with a gloom. All that I am saying very quickly, but you must realize it's a life's lesson. And you must learn it no matter how long it may take. So if you do that firm, you will have a scene of enjoyment. You will see all those factors and forces that were coming to frighten you. When you are that, you are like a lion, perked up. And all the forces which were very powerful before, now they become like little foxes. And they begin to run away. Hut, that's what when you hut means running away. And enjoy living a life, seeing your weaknesses running away from you. Thrilling life. And the last term is fat. There is always a veil of illusion before one's mind that separates you from God. Break that veil, you will be broken. That's the goal of life. That's nirvana, liberation, moksha, mukti, kingdom of heaven. So shauryam, tejo, dhriti. That's what dhriti I described, steadiness. Dakshyam. Whatsoever project you are handling, do it with skill. Do it with precision, with a mind that has kind of a sense of authority. I am the master of this situation. Put it in more practical way. Taking any project, firstly with a joyous heart. Secondly, learn how to bring order in your project, that with minimum effort you can bring out maximum result. And you will be surprised, all this quality is there within you. That's called dexterity. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. In every situation, if you are a doctor, lawyer, school teacher, or whatsoever job you are handling, Dexterity will allow your head to shine. You will enter into your job office smiling. But if you don't have dexterity, you will have atank, scorpions sitting on your head. Yuddhe apalayanam. Never run away from battle. Running away is called bhagana. No bhagana. What should you do? Jagana. Develop alertness within yourself that a situation has to be faced. By running away, it will not go away. Your problem will increase. Now, jagana means understand. You are facing a situation not all by your own strength. You are facing it with the strength of God. And it has a purpose. So don't face it with a sinking heart. Face it with joy. And you have a subtle divine expectation that God will make you win. And you're curious to know how all this is going to happen. The process is jagana. I'm also leading you to understand very profound way. All human attainments in this world, if you stay satisfied with them, you are running away from the truth. Your life has, that's the purpose, the ultimate purpose of your life. So don't stay restricted by karma. You may gain lots of prosperity, lots of satisfaction, lots of thrill, but all this will not stay forever. So if you are resolving your problem by moving from one situation to another, you are bhagana. You are running away from the real goal, attainment of enlightenment. Turn your attention to that profound purpose of your life and gear your daily duties and your activities for the fulfillment of that purpose. So while you are habituated to bhagana, moving from one situation to another, bring into that movement the process of awakening, spiritual awakening. Who am I? What's the purpose behind it? Who is causing me to discover my inner strength, guiding me in a particular direction? Who is giving me success? And let me become more alert. How am I to relate myself to? And complete jagana means liberation. Complete awakening is I am Brahman. Next quality, danam. Dan literally means charity. From a very practical point of view, be a charitable person. For the masses, charity turns to money, how much money you give. That has its own reality, it's perfectly okay. But there is a deeper level of charity. Someone has spilled your teacup, broken it. Feels miserable to appear before you. He has been just appointed by you as a good servant. And now he doesn't want to, he's afraid. Instead of shouting at him, instead of showing your ego, you say, you child, You worry about it. That's nothing. You did your best. It fell down. It's not your error. It's my error. I didn't tell you that area is that area is slippery. I didn't tell you. Look at that difference. That's called udara vritti. Generous heart. Try to understand the difference. Generous heart and sankirna vritti, narrow heart. Narrow heart it may appear that through your narrow heart you are accomplishing many things. But all that you are accomplishing will not fulfill your heart. By the time you have accomplished, your heart will kick you. Don't take it literal. You must realize I give you humorous way. So udara vritti must be developed. Dealing with people who have their problems, how can you relieve the problem? By inspiring the person to do the best thing for resolving the problem. Not a scolding type of mind. Have you not read, anyone who does that, karma goes to hell? Someone comes to you with a headache. What type of bad karma did you do? Same scripture that allows you to develop udara vritti, generous heart, can become also a source of developing very narrow heart. Next, Ishwar Bhav. Literal meaning is lordliness. That is, but if you follow literal, it will deceive you. Kshatriya guna is to have Ishwar Bhav. You are Ishwar, and the world is your creation. To the masses, Ishwar Bhav means I am the ruler, with a big rule in my hand. But understand with a peaceful mind how compassionate God is. Fabricated every little flower with tremendous love. Every creature, even a spider that doesn't give you any thrill, has given so much talent to weave up such a web that you have to go through lots of study, years of work to attain that type of artistic talent. So, what I'm trying to show that how much love God has for the creation, how much love you have already experienced, led by your karma. Your soul found the exact family, father, mother, where you could grow up as a baby. If I go on like that, it'll take a whole day. So therefore, if you have Ishwar Bhav, you have a motherly feeling towards all creation. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. The entire world is my baby. No one, nowhere should suffer. My tender love must calm, put a balm on their problems. figure that out. And that potentiality of a heart and love exists in every individual, because God exists within you, who is all love. So any loving act you do, you are allowing God to be attuned to you. You are pleasing God. Hateful actions, you are closing the door to God's grace. The Ishvara Bhav, therefore, has nothing to do with your ego. But to the masses, when you say Ishvara Bhav, their head begins to go like that. I'm Ishvara. I'll control everybody. The scriptural real sense, Ishvara Bhav is Matri Bhav. The entire world is God's expression. This is Swabhav. The real Swa within you is all over the world. Now coming to Vaishya. Vaishya is described as those who deal with money, material values, trades, business. That's Vaishya. But that aspect is part of your life as long as you live in this world. All these realities of society you have to handle. But you can handle them automatically in a profound way if you begin to relate yourself to God within you. In other words, your actions flow two ways: by your effort, that causes perspiration; God's grace, that creates inspiration. Now coming to profounder level, Vaishya deals with values. A good Vaishya will know if a fake pearl as different from a real pearl. Now, what I'm leading to understand, when that Vaishya vritti grows within you, how does it grow? By the practice of meditation and samadhi. Therefore, in Devi Puja, Suratha, the soul, joins with a Vaishya whose name is Samadhi. I will not go into that direction, we'll wait for mother worship. But as your mind begins to flow towards Samadhi, flow towards higher levels of meditation, you begin to see the value of different states of your activities, different states of consciousness. You will not go after just a quantitative attainment. You will go after quality. To give you more to digest. Stories are told that a great divine source gives someone a blessing and says, this whole forest is yours. And the person uses the forest, cuts wood, and hunts deer, etc., and remains more or less in the same predicament. With the passage of time, the same great sage who had given him that boon comes and says, how is it you are so miserable yet? Don't you know the forest I gave to is a forest of sandalwood trees? He said, I didn't know that. The life that you have been given is a forest of sandalwood trees. Don't be an ordinary woodcutter day by day. Figure that out. When you have that type of mind, you are a real Vaishya. You know the value. Same time that you use up in certain entertainment. If you are not a good Vaishya, you are using up your time in vain. A good Vaishya, you will not use your time in vain. You first figure it out. If it is going to give me benefit, then it's okay. And again, what I'm leading you to is, you're using the time in satsanga. The Vaishya in you, the real Vaishya in you is very happy. Begins to recognize the values, pearls that are there in your own box, and you are not utilizing them. And Shudra, Paricharyatmakam karma. Paricharya. Simple literation for that is serving others. But subtler meaning behind it, to give you a very crude way to understand, when a child comes filled with dust over the body and muck, the mother does paricharya, moves the dust away. Mother is Shudra. It's Shudra work. Don't be surprised. These, all the Vaishya, Shudra, they are all reverential terms. When you wipe away your impurities, help others to wipe their impurities away. And that's Swadharma of Shudra. Coming to more practical way to understand. Society, I'm coming now to just dealing with practical reality. Society exists because of different types of activities that go on. There are people who are more prepared for office work, head work. There are people who are fit for political activity, military type of work. And people who are fit for keeping the business going. And then there are people who serve these three grades of people. They become secretaries. So you see the four types of people involved in society, but this from a broad point of view. Profounder point I have already explained. Everyone has all those four. And it is this understanding that will lead to liberation. The other understanding will let you pass in history. History examination. 45th verse. Sve sve karmanyabhirvirata sansiddhim labhate naraha swakarma niratah siddhim yatha vindati tat shrinu. Men performing their own duties with devotion attain spiritual perfection. Do not create in your mind a constant struggle. Am I doing swadharma or am I doing paradharma? Follow the simple rule. Different activities, different jobs present themselves in your life. So whatsoever job you are handling, develop a sense of this being, in other words, don't feel a sense of contradiction that I shouldn't have had this job, I should have had that job. Job that you are doing, do it joyously. food that is in your mouth, chew it nicely. Otherwise, you'll be cutting your own tongue. So whatsoever job is you are handling, develop a profound understanding. It's God's prasad. With devotion. If you can perform your duties with devotion, karmic movement, the duties that you perform, they pave the way for your enlightenment, for your liberation. Action, as it is performed normally, creates karmas. Any action you do, good karma, bad karma, they are creating karma that will have its fruit, which you will have experience of that fruit later. But when you are doing swadharma with that spirit, it is a worship of God, an offering to God, that's called karma yoga. Action becomes karma yoga. And karma yoga leads you to develop bhava shuddhi, purity of bhavana, feeling. This is described in the Uttarayana Marg, Agnir Jyotiha Shukla, Sanamasa, Sanmana, Uttarayana. First, Godward movement is characterized by vairagya, dispassion. You don't get yourself involved, develop detachment. Next stage, you begin to understand the world is kind of a maya. Light begins to develop within you. Jyoti. Aha. Your daily life becomes a form of sadhana, invoking sun god in daily life. If you have, in brief, if you put integral yoga in your life, it results in Shukla Paksha, bright half of the month, implying where the moon begins to wax, every day increases more and more. The feeling that is shining like a little moon, giving you little choice, little joy, little sense of satisfaction, little sense of generosity. But today it is this much, tomorrow it becomes a little bigger. It waxes. If you are doing your duties well and bringing yogic insight in your life, integrating your life, harmonizing, its effect is seen in your heart. You have more possibility to be joyous, more possibility to be peaceful, more possibility to share goodness with others. And that possibility is beyond your imagination. So the moon goes on waxing. And if that happens, you get into Uttarayana. Uttarayana is the northern path of the sun, characterized by the period of light goes on increasing day by day. Daylight, duration of day increases day by day. That's allegorical for people to understand. In the same way, your consciousness goes on expanding. Expanding consciousness, what does that imply? Certain problem comes and your whole personality is involved, choked as it were. But when your consciousness expands a little, then you look at the whole setup with a kind of objectivity. And you have some little area to breathe in. You are not completely drowned. And you begin to enjoy the spiritual oxygen. Then it expands more. And the expanding process continues, and you become so immersed in it like a bee black bee immersed in enjoying honey. That's the ideal of becoming a yogi. So no matter what challenge may come to your life, even the biggest of challenge will not invade you or hurt you. And with this I am concluding. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.